Lord of the Mysteries, a story that many fans call the peak of modern fantasy. But here's the thing, while it's loved worldwide, its power system is one of the most complex in all of fiction. And that's exactly what I'll explain in this video. From the mysterious pathways to the terrifying climb through 9 sequences, the truth of Sequence 0, and finally the ultimate question, what lies above Sequence 0? Part 1, the beginning of the story. The tale begins with a man named Zhou Mingrui. One day, he unexpectedly transmigrates into another world. This new world isn't ordinary. It's a unique blend of Victorian steampunk, eldritch horrors, secret organizations, and divine powers. In this strange setting, Zhou Mingrui takes on a new identity, Klein Moretti, the protagonist of Lord of the Mysteries, and it's in this world that he discovers the system that governs everything, the pathways of sequence. Part 2, the pathways, the peak of the mountain. In Lord of the Mysteries, there are 22 different pathways. Think of each pathway as a road, a specific kind of supernatural evolution. Each pathway grants powers tied to a concept or primordial authority, and each leads to a very different destiny. For example, the Seer pathway gives powers of foresight, divination, and manipulation of fate. The Sun pathway represents fire, light, and purification. The Death pathway grants mastery over corpses, spirits, and the underworld. Every pathway is also tied to a higher being or god. For example, the Evernight goddess is connected to the Evernight pathway, while the Lord of Storms is tied to the Storm pathway. And once you choose a pathway, there is no turning back. Part 3, Beyonders and the Sequences. Now let's talk about Beyonders. A Beyonder is someone who gains powers from a pathway by consuming mystical potions. But it's dangerous. If your body and spirit can't adapt, you'll lose your sanity and turn into a monster. This risk is why every advancement is a gamble. Each pathway is divided into 9 sequences. Sequence 9, the weakest, the very first step. You gain minor supernatural abilities, but remain mostly human. Sequence 7 to 5, the mid-levels, where your body and mind begin to change. You are clearly no longer a normal human. Sequence 4 to 3, at this point, you're completely inhuman, closer to a mythical being than a person. Sequence 2 to 1, the highest level of normal advancement. At Sequence 1, you stand as a quasi-god. Your existence warps reality itself. At Sequence 1, you are the absolute peak of your pathway, or so it seems. Part 4, Sequence 0, the apex of a pathway beyond Sequence 1 lies the legendary Sequence 0. Reaching Sequence 0 means you no longer just use your pathway, you become the embodiment of it. Sequence 0 of the Sun pathway is light itself, the eternal flame that burns away corruption. At this stage, you are not merely a god. You are a living law of the universe, the pure concept that your pathway represents. You are absolute. Part 5, the price of power. But here's the catch. Power always comes with a price. With every step forward, you lose more of your humanity. Your thoughts, your desires, your emotions, all reshaped by the pathway. By the time you reach Sequence 0, you might no longer even be you. You may achieve ultimate power, but in exchange, you become something alien, something terrifying. This is why many Beyonders fear advancing too far. Part 6, the Great Question. And this brings us to the greatest mystery of all. If Sequence 0 already makes you the embodiment of a pathway, if it turns you into a cosmic authority, a god among gods, then what could possibly exist above Sequence 0? Is there a hidden level that transcends the pathways themselves? A place where even gods must kneel? Or is that realm reserved only for the beings who created the pathways, the true rulers of existence? So that's the power system of Lord of the Mysteries. From the 22 pathways to the 9 sequences to the unimaginable heights of Sequence 0. But now I leave the final thought to you. What do you think lies beyond Sequence 0? Is there a level above gods, or does the road truly end there? Let me know in the comments.